Hello. Now that you have accessed My Student Success Lab through our Blackboard course, I want to show you some tricks and tips for using MySSL. The first is that you can speed things up by going directly to MySSL now that you have established the initial link. In the browser, I'm going to type mystudentsuccesslab.com. That's going to take me directly to My Student Success Lab. One of the things that I can do here is identify support for students. If you have questions about something in My Student Success Lab that is related to the lab itself, this student support link is actually going to be a bigger help than I will be in many cases. When you click on student support, you can see that there are top most common questions, 24/7 technical support, available via email, chat, phone, etc. And then also several different videos that might help you in this process. So that again is for student support. I'm going to now sign in to MySSL. Again, hopefully you used your CWI email address, but that's not required. This will look slightly different for you because you're looking at this from an instructor view, but you'll find your Fall 2013 MySSL class and select that course. It goes much faster than trying to link through Blackboard every time. You'll come up to the course home page. It's still loading here. And you'll see I have nothing that's due this week because My Student Success Lab looks at Sunday as the first day of the week. My encouragement to you is not to use this assignments due information, but rather the course calendar provided in Blackboard. Then you can go directly to the learning path. I like to choose the option here on the left, but you can also choose this option in the middle. Because these are the tips and tricks, you've already established your connection and you've already completed the pre-assessment to see which modules will be on your learning path. College Transition was the module we began in week 1, and this week we are participating in the 2 next to that, critical thinking and problem solving. The bar across the bottom, it's indicated here in stress management and time management in green already, indicates how many of the activities you have completed. The bar on the top indicates that the entire module is complete. One of the tips and tricks I'll show you today will let you know why some of these bars advance and some of them do not. Let's jump into College Transition here. I have not yet done any of the activities in this module. The first thing you want to do in each module is to take the pretest. The pretest will give you a good idea of how much work you need to put into this module. I'm going to go ahead and open the pretest now and just randomly answer a couple of questions. I am ready to start. Sometimes it disappears behind the primary page, so look for additional windows that may have been opened in your browser so that you can find the test. I'm going to select a couple, move to the next question. Of course, I'm not actually reading these and will probably get them incorrect. I can also bounce around up here in the question bar. It's a good way for me to go back and double check things or maybe make a note on a piece of paper that I skipped number 17, etc. So I've answered several of these questions. I'm going to go ahead and submit this test. It says I still have 16 unanswered questions. I'm sure I still want to go ahead. And then it shows me which ones were correct. You can see random guessing sometimes works. Now I'll return to the learning path. This is indicating that I have completed my first attempt and could do 3 for the pretest, and there's a checkbox there. The post-test is the part of the assessment that is graded. This is the part that I'll transfer over to Blackboard on Monday mornings after they're due. It indicates with this little flag that there are prerequisites. There are things I must do first before I can take the post-test. So this says I must do the overview, the video, and the 3 practice assignments. You'll notice there are also 2 activities here. In the overview, which I'll open for you now, I could find out what I'm expected to accomplish during this module. So by the time I'm finished, I should be able to describe the culture of college. I should be able to demonstrate an understanding of how to use higher education resources. When I take the post-test, if there are elements that I do not get correct, I can come back to this overview and find out where in the module I can learn that. So if I missed the questions on identifying internal and external motivators, I would then go back to practice 3 and give it a little more attention. If I missed the things that were related to identifying higher education skills that transfer to the workplace, then I would go back to practice 1. So this is a really important tool for you. It's also really important that when you've reviewed it, you click on this Submit button. Because Submit, when you go to the learning path, will indicate that you have completed the overview. We spent about a minute on that, but the reality is you can do this much faster if you already know the content. So I'm ready to start this video. It's going to initialize and give me this link here. Sometimes it's hard to find this. This video is actually available right there. And this video is about 7 minutes long if I remember correctly. I may not want to watch the whole thing.
In what ways do you think college will differ?
If I already did really well on the pretest, I can write here, I did well on the pretest. Submit my quiz, return to the learning path, and it indicates that I have completed the video 100%. This is important for those of you who are already doing really well. Don't spend a lot of time on each module. The same is true with the practice. Again, I click to open it. They're different depending on which practice module you're in. Sometimes they're straightforward like this. Other times it has a little iPod at the bottom that you navigate with. Always hit submit, and when you return to the learning path, you'll see you have credit for having done it. Some items you can access multiple times. Others, like this video, say 1 of 1, and to review it later you have to use the review feature. Either way, you can always go back and access material. Once I have gone through all of the required elements for the post-test, and again I'm spending very little time here, then I can take the post-test. Now the post-test will only be available 3 times, and again it is the graded element. You'll see the little flag has disappeared and this is now in blue. When I open this, I will be able to review my answers only immediately upon submitting the test. I will not be able to review my answers 2, 3, 4 days later. That's so that you are actively engaged in the learning process and not simply memorizing the answers. You do have 3 opportunities to take the post-test in each of the modules, so it's up to you how well you score. These are some tips and tricks. It's been a longer video than I intended, so I'm going to end here. If you still have additional questions, please let me know. Send me an email. Send me a picture of what you're seeing that seems confusing. I hope that helped with your My Student Success Lab.